What's up, Long Live Your Turtle here, and today I want to give you guys an update on my 75-gallon aquarium. It's gone through quite a few changes since my last major design of this turtle tank, and I want to show you guys what I have going on. So in this tank, I have my red-eared slider, Harold, and my yellow-bellied slider, Crackers. So if you followed any of my previous videos, I used to have 3 turtles in here. I had Moses, my other female red-eared slider, and she was about 10 inches. These guys are about 6 inches long, and she got very territorial, and she just got to the point where she was constantly abusing Harold. Harold would only hang out on top of this basking dock, and there was nothing I could do other than separate them. So Moses now has a turtle tub of her own, so don't worry about her. She is living in luxury right now, and I'm gonna have a video on that setup shortly, so stay tuned for that. But let me show you guys what I have going on in this tank. All right, so starting from the bottom, I have a Cascade 1200 canister filter. It's made by Penplax, and this filter has really surprised me, and it's done an awesome job filtering the water for my 2 slider turtles, which they're turtles. They produce a ton of waste compared to fish, and this filter does really well. It's rated for 150 gallons, so double the size of my tank, but we all know that those ratings with turtles really don't make sense. This filter claims to pump about 350 gallons per hour, which is really good, and it does an awesome job. I used to have a Fluval FX6 filtering this tank when I had Moses in there. Obviously I had to get a second filter, and I chose to put it on this tank, and it surprised me. 2 thumbs up for this filter. The only thing that I did to make it a little better was I took some already colonized biological media and I put it in this filter just to give everything a jump start and to give this filter a little more biological bacteria to break down the turtle waste. Because one problem I have with a lot of these canister filters is they don't come with enough of their own biological media. And so I put my own in here. Otherwise, it was just a series of sponges. That was not enough. This filter is doing awesome. It's been running for a full month with sand, and I've had no issues with 2 turtles. And that's only with like maybe 1 half water change and a couple smaller water changes. So this filter is doing awesome. Totally recommend it. I also have my Whisper air pump, and that just puts airs into the air stones I have in the tank because I like bubbles, and I think bubbles in an aquarium are awesome. They're not necessary for a turtle, but they look cool. So I use the Zilla Power Center, and it's basically a bunch of outlets. A couple are timed, a couple are just typical outlets, and it's really good for having the heat lamp and the UVB and any LEDs turn on when you want them to. So I keep them on basically a day cycle where when the sun comes up, they turn on, sun typically goes down, they turn off, and I just want to give natural lighting sequence for the turtles. For food, I just give my turtles classic floating food sticks. This is just Reptimin, decent size for the size turtles I have. And once in a while, I'll give them some treats, like these freeze-dried mealworms. I'll also give them some fruit or some veggies. Once in a while, it's pretty messy in the tank, but those are always snacks. I rely on the food pellets for their basic nutritional needs. And then, of course, always get yourself plenty of ReptiSafe. Pretty much no one's water is good enough to just go directly in their tank. You always need to treat it, so just make sure you do that. All right, so my substrate in my tank is sand, and it's about 1 inch across. Obviously it varies, has dips and valleys and hills and mountains. So I did post a video on looking at different substrates that you could put in a turtle tank. I looked at a tile, I looked at turf grass, I looked at river stones, and I looked at sand. I chose sand because it looks really nice, it looks natural, it can harbor beneficial bacteria, which is always a good thing. The turtles definitely have some fun in it, but this is pool filter sand. It's a little more expensive than that play sand, but this sand requires like 10% of the rinsing that regular play sand requires. It's a huge difference, and I definitely think it's worth it. I live in an apartment. I can't just go rinsing buckets out in the lawn. I don't have a lawn, I just have a shower spigot. So I got sand that's really easy to clean, and then I can pretty quickly put it right in the tank. Word of caution if you're getting sand and it's not from a pet store and verified good for pets. If you're getting something from Lowe's or Home Depot or Ace Hardware, know that it can have chemicals in it depending on what kind of sand you're getting. Don't just pick up any sand off the shelf. You want to get sand that's 100% sand, 100% silicate to be exact. A lot of people have issues with filtration and sand. Like I said, that Cascade 1200 is doing awesome with the sand. I have 3 pieces of driftwood, large, medium, and small. I give a little bit of aesthetics to the floor of the tank. I don't want to add a lot of clutter. The turtles need as much space as possible. So I don't want big rocks or boulders or anything that's really not conducive to them being free in their tank and absorbing all that room. They also kind of like the wood. I can see they kind of push it around, they adventure around it, try to find their poop to eat. Very exciting. But I think it looks nice, so. In the back, you can see lots of bubbles coming up. Love the bubbles. I had my air tubing connected to bar air stones, 2 of them going each way. I'm trying them out. I actually like the way it makes a nice wall of bubbles. That's about it for the main viewing area. I wanted to keep it really simple. Obviously, you can see the ramp that we're going to get to in a second for the basking platform and the pretty simple background. So here is the above tank basking platform. I'll give you guys a closer look in 1 second. I just want to give you a general overview of what you're looking at. This is basically wood construction, painted black. It has 2 acrylic sliding doors. There's a basking area on the right with even more space to run around in the back. And there's obviously a ramp that goes down about 12 inches into the water, making it very easy for your turtles to climb up and get on that basking area. So the ramp is a bent acrylic piece that is heavily glued to the bottom of a plywood platform, and it's wrapped in ReptiTurf, and the reason I have it wrapped is the turtle's claws can easily dig into the fabric, whereas if it was just acrylic, they would slide right off. I gave them an angle that's pretty easy to climb up, and it works really well, and they love it. They use it all the time, and it does what it's supposed to do. It lets them bask. So let's get into the details here. Let's take a closer look at this basking platform. Hopefully you guys will like it. All right, so let's start over on the boring side, the left side. So like I said, you can slide your door open. You have full access to any of the filter tubing, air tubing, heater that you have installed back here. I have this little plant for decoration. And just to reduce some evaporation, I have these acrylic panels. I live in Colorado, very dry here, and the water level can drop quickly. So I try to do anything I can to keep that water in the enclosure. So let me just take you way back. So as you can see, there's a recess designed into the basking platform that allows the intake, output, and any wiring and tubing to fit, to make its way around the back of the tank and around the edge and into the water. It's thin enough that the turtles can't climb out, but it's big enough to allow me to easily move things around back there. So you'll also notice, this is where it starts, but I have an LED strip that's nested in an aluminum channel that has its own little white cover that dilutes LED intensity and kind of spreads out the light a little bit. You can see how intense it is over on the left here. That essentially is the light for the aquarium itself. Otherwise, it'd be quite dark without that light installed. Let's move over to the exciting basking area. So you can slide this open, and what you see here is a sticky vinyl tile. You get these from hardware stores. They're basically a thin sheet that looks like a very nice real tile, and you can stick it right on there. I put a little silicone on the edges to hold it in and on the bottom. This vinyl tile is excellent because it's very water resistant and dries off easily, which is perfect for a basking area that needs to be hot and dry for the turtles. Now, back here I have a turf grass. You'll see I have my little Adirondack chairs. I figured I'd give the turtles an excellent view of Garden of the Gods and Pikes Peak in Colorado. And this turf grass is meant to look very realistic. I guess it's for pets or even outdoor use. This wall is here, so if they either get spooked or just want to slide back into the water, they don't just slide off here and into the ramp head first, banging their head. They instead have to go back around and slide down the ramp like they should. And then over here, I designed this basking platform to fit, I think it's a 5-gallon terrarium that you could buy, but this fits perfectly in between the two walls of my basking platform, and it allows me to place this ZoomEd mini deep dome basking and UVB lamp right above the basking area where my turtles can soak up the fake sun that makes them healthy and happy. And then also in the way back, I have this pretty cheap LED strip light that really makes a cool light on the grass and the background itself. And it really ties in that back area of luxury for the turtles. So let me show you real quick what a turtle looks like basking. I know, very upsetting, very upsetting. So turtles fit great up here. Heck, Crackers looks like he's gonna run out into the lawn. Good luck on the escape, buddy. Yep, right into the mountains. Giddy up. But as you can see, it fits a turtle. It easily fits Crackers. Harold likes to squeeze in there too. They both fit up there perfectly fine. Do a classic short stack if they want. All right, so that is my 75-gallon turtle tank setup. I want to stress how great it is to have a above tank basking platform. My turtles have full access to all 75 potential gallons in this aquarium. With this stock, I don't have to deal with suction cups like on those floating docks that come off all the time. I don't have to worry about a bad floating dock that just doesn't hold these turtles. I don't have to put a giant mound of rocks or a huge log that I find somewhere in one side of the tank. I can use all potential 75 gallons of water that this aquarium can hold. And I know the turtles are soaking up every inch of it. I can't stress enough how great these turtle tank basking platforms are. Yes, you're gonna have to make it yourself. If you're not so handy, try to find a friend. If you like this particular design of an above tank basking platform, I have a 6-part series on exactly how to make this, from boards straight from Home Depot to the end design you see here. And I hope if you go to those videos, they really help, or at least give you really good ideas of what you can do for an above tank basking platform. So thanks for listening. This is Long Live Your Turtle. See ya.